What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Yankees Avenue Show on the Yankees Avenue YouTube channel. As usual, I'm Patrick Hennessy. That's Dan Rourke. Dan, how are we doing on this ALDS preview edition of the Yankees Avenue Show?
Man, I'm doing good. I won't lie, though. Now that we are at the week of the beginning of the ALDS, nerves are starting to creep in just a little bit. We are without a doubt better than the Cleveland Guardians. No matter who we'd be facing, we'd be the better team. But, it's baseball. Anything can happen. Yankees, I think, are going to come out of it. But I would be lying if I said the nerves weren't creeping up a little bit, bro. Big day tomorrow. How you doing?
No, I agree 1,000%. We kind of talked about this before we hit that nice little record button, right? Like nerves are starting to kick in. And I know we talked about on the postseason preview episode where it's like we didn't really know who we were facing. We were kind of like intrigued by that. Now we know for a fact the Yankees are going head to head with the Cleveland Guardians. I would say that I'm very confident. However, at the same time, postseason baseball, anything could happen. And I think also, since like we're so confident, losing would feel even worse. But we're going to break down the entire matchup. We're going to break down everything involved with it. Dan, before we do that, though, there's one thing I want to touch on, and I'm so excited to show you this. So, first of all, prefacing it, this company reached out to me. They emailed, shout out to FOCO. That's the name of it.
FOCO.
And they said, Pat, we want to hook
stuff.
you up with some Yankees postseason merchandise, right? To get you ready for the postseason. Can I show you one
Let
thing
me
that
see
they
it.
sent me? I'm so excited. Ready?
Let me
Watch
see it. And then I got something to show you, too. But I'll wait till afterwards. Yeah, I'm ready. Hell yeah, I'm ready. Let's see it. Bro,
Tell me this isn't fire.
It is fire, but you better wear it for the rest of the episode then.
No.
What do you mean it's fire?
Not happening? No, because it's like my lucky postseason hat. So it's like I'm not going to rock it for the whole episode here. But for the postseason, like watch parties and stuff, yeah, I'm rocking it.
I love it. It looks good. I think it's fire. I got to give another shout out to Fanatics real quick if we're speaking of clothing. They're 2 for 3. They brought my LE shirt is finally in. I'm just now waiting on the sweatshirt to finally arrive. But yo, that's good vibes. We're all set up, ready to go, geared up for the playoffs.
Have
Big
you ever
week,
seen
man.
a better hat than that though?
I have, but that's up there. It's top 5.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. So Dan, I say we get right into the ALDS preview here.
Let's do it.
And we'll start things off by breaking down, comparing the Yankees and Guardians starting lineup. Let's start things off from the catching spot, right? I guess it's an easy way to go for it. For the Guardians, it's going to be a combo.
Can I say something real quick? Because I just thought of an idea. We should like tally up points. Like,
okay.
And say like we were to say the Guardians have the better catcher, which they don't. They get a point. The Yankees have the better first baseman. They get a point. Want to do that? All right, work.
I like it. Yeah,
let's do it.
All right, cool. So on the Guardian side, it's going to be a combo between Austin Hedges and Luke Maile. And then on the Yankee side, obviously, Jose Trevino and Kyle Higashioka. Dan, I'll give my input on this real quick. I think that the obvious edge there is going to be the Yankees, especially with Higgy hitting so well to end the season, and also kind of like what Trevino provides as well with like his clutch hitting and whatnot. I'm going Yankees 100%.
Easily, bro. I didn't even realize till right before the show that the Guardians have, I think, a negative WAR or just barely a positive WAR for their catching position. And yeah, Higgy's been crushing the ball lately. Trevino, man, dude, you look at the defense that he provided this year, 21 defensive runs saved. He fell off a little bit offensively towards the end, but regardless, the most valuable catcher in the American League, I would say. So yeah, without a doubt, no matter who we'd be matching up with, the Yankees take the catching department. So that's a tally for them.
That's 1-0 Yankees off rip.
Let's do it. That's a good feeling.
Moving on to first base now, we're gonna go with Josh Naylor of the Guardians going up against Anthony Rizzo.
Nice player.
Obviously the Yankees. I'm gonna say this: Josh Naylor is the hitter on the Guardians that scares me the most by far. Just because he just has that edge to him. He's a little bit of a psycho. We've seen him kill us in the 2020 postseason. So, however, he's not a better player than Anthony Rizzo. So I think the Yankees still have the edge as far as that goes. However, it's not like that much of a difference between the two.
He's definitely a threat for sure. And he's somebody that, yeah, like you said, I'd be definitely worried about giving a pitch down the middle to. But overall, if you just want to compare their season, I mean, Rizzo had a 132 WRC plus, 32 homers, tied a career high. Naylor, not bad, 117 WRC plus, 20 homers. So yeah, like I said, definitely a threat. But at least for now, the kid's only 25 years old. But for now, going to this ALDS, the Yankees take that one. So 2-0 Yanks.
Dude, one more and we sweep. It's as simple as that. So moving on to second base now, Gleyber Torres of the Yankees going up against Andres Jimenez.
Is that who the Mets traded for? For Lindor?
Yeah, it was him and Rosario.
Now, real quick, let me say this one could get a little interesting because he had a nice year. I mean, 146 games, hit 297, 140 WRC plus, had a WAR over 6, which I had no idea until now seeing that. So he's pretty damn good. Versus Gleyber Torres, who had a resurgence in September. Hell, I'll play host for a second. Where are you going, Pat?
I'm going to be honest. I mean, this would be an easy answer. If you were to ask me this in like July, right? When Jimenez was coming off like his little all-star campaign, whatever, Glaber was sucking. However, it's like I'm roping in like postseason experience into this too. I'm going Glaber Torres. That might be Yankee bias. That might 100% be Yankee bias. However, if like you were setting up a lineup right now and you had to pick a second baseman between those two, especially with how hot Glaber's been, I'm going Glaber Torres.
I'm so torn. I'm trying not to be biased towards the Yankees. If I were to be, though, this is how I would think. Postseason's all about who's hot and momentum, right? There's nobody in the Yankee lineup right now outside of probably not even Judge. I mean, Gleyber Torres is the hottest hitter in the Yankee lineup right now, going into a month where he thrives. I want to give him the edge. Depends how I want to do this. I mean, if I'm going off the vibe I just laid out, or you look at overall season stats, because he did have the better season, no doubt about it, Andres Jimenez, and he's a good player. 24 years old, left-handed bat. You know what, man? I'm just going to give it to Jimenez, only because I'll tell you right now, spoiler it, the Yankees are the better team than the Guardians, so we got to make it a little bit fair. And I feel like that's what I did for Rizzo and Naylor. I compared season stats. So to be, a little level-headed on here, I'll give the edge to Jimenez.
Sure. No, I think it's fair, especially if like you're looking at like the season as a whole rather than just the hot hand.
Hey, if there's one thing I am, or try to be consistent.
I like it.
You know?
Moving on here to third base. This one, I mean, I wouldn't really say it's much of a competition. Josh Donaldson, we're going to say, is going to be the Yankees' third baseman going up against Jose Ramirez. Dan, I think Donaldson is by far better than no. Obviously, I'm going Jose Ramirez here.
I was thinking about it, man. In the email I sent you when we talked about right field, which will be Aaron Judge versus Oscar Gonzalez, I put an LOL next to it. I probably should have put an LOL for this one.
So moving on to shortstop here, we got IKF of the New York Yankees going up against Ahmed Rosario of the Cleveland Guardians. Dan, I'm gonna be honest, like this is kind of like a battle between like two individuals that I don't really view as being so great. However, I think Cleveland has the slight edge here, just because I don't know if this is like my anti-IKF bias, but IKF is probably the guy who scares me the most defensively for the Yankees in the postseason. Like I could see just a total routine play being botched over there and just costing the Yankees like a huge play. So just because of that, and just because of how scared I am, scared of I am of IKF in that regard.
Sound like me now.
No, I know it's horrible. I'm gonna lean towards Rosario.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the same thing. And IKF, nervous about him going to the playoffs. He has been a little better defensively in September, but it definitely seems like a lock that he's going to make some sort of crucial error with Garrett Cole on the mound. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Yeah, I mean, you look at the season stats, IKF, 261 average, 85 WRC plus. For those who aren't familiar with WRC plus, league average is 100. So IKF was 15% worse than a league average hitter. Ahmed Rosario, on the other hand, 103. So he's slightly above. And you actually look at the defensive metrics, Ahmed Rosario somehow grades out better. Mind you that Ahmed Rosario was always considered to be awful defensively, and the Yankees got IKF to specifically play solid defense. Ahmed was a better fielder this year, also had the higher WAR. So, yeah, I'm going to give the edge to Cleveland.
Fair enough. So now that's what? 3.
That would be – are you taking let's just make it easy. Are you on my second base over Glaber?
Yeah.
Make easy math?
Yeah, we'll just do that. Left field, we're going to go with Oswaldo Cabrera going up against Steven Kwan. This is another one. I'm not like necessarily sleeping on Kwan because he did have a pretty good season.
He did, and he finished strong. Let me say, he had a 773 OPS and solid defense, WAR over 4. So, I mean, he definitely had a solid year to give him that.
Yeah. However, I'm riding the hot hand, kind of like with my logic in terms of like how I worked second base involved. Oswaldo Cabrera has become one of the Yankees' hottest hitters, especially in the month of September. I mean, we kind of seen what he's able to provide with the bat. So, I'm going left field, Oswaldo.
100%. And the way I see it is the excitement I have surrounding Oswaldo Cabrera is part of the reason why I'm so enthusiastic about this team once again going into the playoffs, right? If it weren't for his emergence, I don't know if the vibes would have been restored the way they were in middle to late September. And, I mentioned the 4.4 WAR that Kwan had, and people might say, oh, how are you going to pick a rookie over a guy that put up 4.5 WAR? Well, the thing is, Oswaldo Cabrera, he had a 1.7 WAR. So if you extrapolate that, like that word, extrapolate, that's really good word. That's a nice word, especially for me.
Mark that one down.
You take that over a full season, 157 games, Oswaldo Cabrera's WAR per 150 is nearing 6 because you have the defensive value, which, by the way, did you know that Oswaldo Cabrera finished third among all American League right fielders in defensive runs saved, despite only having like 200 innings there?
Really?
With 9. He had 9. Absolutely insane. So the defensive value, he turned it up the bat. Yeah, I'm easily going Oswaldo Cabrera.
So that's an easy W for the Yankees there.
Yeah, let me write that.
Moving on to center field, we're going to go Harrison Bader going against Miles Straw. And then our little notes here in parentheses, loser. I like
He is
that.
a fucking loser.
We all know like the whole beef that happened earlier in the season with Miles Straw and the Yankees crowd, whatever. But regardless, like taking all of that out of the equation here too, he sucks.
Yeah,
like Miles Straw is not good.
Let me just put this one to bed really quick. Now, he may have solid defense. You know for a fact he's not better than Bader in center, so we'll squash that right there. Let's take a look at his offensive numbers, which when I saw him today, I'm like, oh, I figured he didn't play a full season. Oh, no, he played 152 games. He hit 221 with a 291 on base, a 273 slugging. It's a WRC plus. Remember, guys, 100 league average. He had a 64 WRC plus. So he was 36% worse than a league average hitter. So he definitely, is a lot of talk, no bark, because, he's the guy that sparked all that drama last year. And I'll tell you, Yankee Stadium ain't going to be nice to him. Doesn't mean you should throw bottles and cans at him. It was April. Did I say last year? Well, you know what? I'm in postseason mode now. So regular season is last year to me. Yankee Stadium ain't going to be kind to him. And I don't think he's going to be a factor that's better than Harrison Bader. So I think that's an easy W for the Yanks.
Easy. And listen, Dan, speaking of easy W's, let's go to right field here. Oscar Gonzalez of the Guardians. He's the one who hit the walk-off home run to bring them. So, yeah, shout out to him, I guess.
Let me just read over the stats so you guys at home are familiar with them, because obviously we know all about Aaron Judge. He's solid. I mean, 296 average, 11 homers, 122 WRC plus. Do we want to have a conversation about this, or I don't know?
I mean, he's going up against Judge, so it's like, no. Yeah. Like, I don't think we have to say anything.
So let's tally up the lineup, right? Let's tally up the lineup. So we got, remember, right-hand Yankees, left-hand Guardians, catcher, Yankees, first base, Yankees, second base, Guardians, third base, Guardians, shortstop, Guardians, left field, Yankees, center field, Yankees, right field, Yankees. 5-3, Yankees winning the lineup. That was a good idea to do that.
Nah, but if I'm being honest, like after doing that, like the Guardians lineup isn't as bad as I thought it was.
No, it's not. But also the guys who, besides Jose Ramirez, the guys who are holding the fort down for them offensively, this is also like their first go around in the playoffs. Sure. They don't have any experience at the big stage. So, I mean, they didn't look all that great in the ALDS. No. I mean, what did they score? Total of 3 runs, I think. That was, by the way, that may have been the most boring postseason series of all time.
That wild card series between the Guardians and the Rays was despicable.
I think it was the worst one.
Yo, what's up, guys? Dan here. Brief interruption to let you know that our friends over at Best Jersey Throwbacks are having an insane deal. Buy 3, get 1 free sale for a limited time. They have all our favorite Yankee players like Aaron Judge, Derek Jeter, Oswaldo Cabrera, and many, many more. Also, have other MLB teams as well. So if you're looking for players like Shohei Ohtani, Julio Rodriguez, and many more, you also got NBA jerseys, NFL, NHL, and even custom jerseys as well. So why spend over $150 on jerseys when you can buy them for $50 or less at bestjerseythrowbacks.com and get 4 jerseys for the price of 1? They provide an affordable buying experience for fans passionate about their favorite players and teams. Your purchase also comes with a tracking number and 24-hour customer service. Click the link in the description to check them out. You will not regret it.
Moving on to the starting pitching matchups, which I think this is super interesting, actually. And I'm kind of interested to talk about these. So game 1, looks like we're going to be getting Garrett Cole. No surprise there. Going up against Cal Quantrill, who kind of had like a sneaky good season.
I didn't realize how good of a year he had.
ERA. He had lower ERA than Cole, if you want to go down the ERA alley. So Dan, I'm going to say game 1, I'm still going Garrett Cole. Like, does Cal Quantrill have like any postseason experience, like at all?
Yeah.
Throwing him right into the Bronx.
No, he doesn't. And I would say this, assuming as of right now that Garrett Cole is the ace we paid him for, it's a no-brainer that he's going to be better. Now, if you were to tell me with a crystal ball fortune teller that that Cole just for some reason can't handle a packed house in the Bronx, which is flat out not true. He did it with the Astros. Then, all right, sure, you can make a conversation. But unless we were opposing, I don't know, Max Scherzer or Jacob deGrom, one of the top tier Bulldog aces in the league, then you could have a conversation about the game 1 starter being better than Cole. But no, there's no way in hell that I'm giving the advantage to anybody but Cole in this instance.
I agree. And also, kind of like how I touched on we both touched on it very deeply last episode. This is it for Cole, bro. Like, this is the postseason where he has to prove himself. He has so many doubters, so many haters, so many people just questioning whether or not he can get the job done. I'm looking for him to get the job done, especially in game 1, start off the postseason on a high note, keep the vibes high, and then, bro, do your thing,
Tuesday night is going to be an interesting show regardless, but a big part of that is the conversation about Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
Because, dude, my whole vibe, I mean, there's a chance, I'll tell you right now, the Yankees could win Tuesday night's game, and ultimately that's the goal. That's what I will ultimately make it happy or not. but say they went 10-7 and those 7 earned runs came off Cole, my vibe will be depleted a little bit because then it's like, fuck. But I don't anticipate that happening.
Sure,
I told you
neither
we're
do
getting
I.
7 innings, 2 runs, 10 Ks.
100%. That's actually, if that's what he does, sign me up, dude. Sign me up.
Then I'm gonna,
Anything,
name my kid
anything like
Garrett.
below 6 and above 3 earned, I'll be upset.
What if he
Be
gives you
very
5
upset.
2/3, 3 runs, 7 Ks? We win the game.
Anything above 3, I'd be upset with. So, yo, if he gives you 5 2/3, 3 earned runs, I'm not like, wow, this is amazing, but I'm like, yo, I'll take it. I want to see improvement in the next start.
I won't be mad unless it's a situation of, say we enter the 6th and we're up 3-1, then he gives up a 2-run homer, and that's how it ends.
Sure.
Then I'll be pretty pissed. But no, I'm kind of with you. At the very least, though, I do like give a 6.
Sure. Game two. Nestor Cortez is going to be starting for the Yankees. A lot of people thought he maybe should have started game 1. I agree with the decision for him to go game 2.
Mhm.
Going up against Shane Bieber, who honestly, masterclass in the wild card series, pitched beautifully. However,
Granted, we do have to mention the disclaimer of the Rays offense is
yeah,
absolutely putrid, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean,
and-
Bieber pitched well, but also I've mentioned this in past episodes. He doesn't scare me. He really doesn't. I don't look at him as one of the bulldog aces of baseball. He's very good. But when it comes to pitching a playoff game in the Bronx, which remember 2020, Judge took him deep right away. I don't even know if he got into the 5th
no,
inning.
we scored 7 earned off of him.
Did we really?
Yeah.
I knew we did like 3 or 4. I didn't know that, but yeah, word. So his history, at least in that game, and just against the Yankees in general, isn't all that great. And he's nobody that scares me. He really isn't. I think we have the advantage with Nestor.
However, like, let me say this though. Shane Bieber, like, he doesn't necessarily scare me either, probably because we have such like a history of success against him.
Mhm.
However, like, if he was going up against any of the other Yankee starters, I might give him the edge. But the fact, since he's going up against Nestor, and Nestor's kind of just been nails for us, I think I'd probably go Nestor here.
I tell you, man. Well, yeah, 100% go Nestor. I don't think Bieber, which is obviously the Guardians' best starter, I don't think he's better than any of our 3, which includes Luis Severino. Now, I acknowledge
I'd
there's
probably
a chance
put him over
he could dice us up, sure, but I didn't want to say biased, but like the way Sebi looked over the past the last 2-3 starts since he came off the IL, I don't know if, dude, it was reasonably a conversation. I mean, not that it would happen, but when people were saying start Sevi game 1, in terms of performance, the way he looked, like that wasn't a dumb thing to say. So I think this Sevi that we have right now is the best version of Luis Severino. Not even just talking about like, you have his confidence, you have his pitch mix is the best it's ever been with the changeup. I mean, we'll get into this right now, but yeah, I think the Yankees have advantage in game 2. I guess this leads into game 3.
Yeah, Dan, game 3. Sevi going up against Tristan McKenzie, who
the coolest motherfucker on the earth, bro.
Yeah, dude, like Bieber, he pitched pretty damn well in the wildcard series. Granted, going up against the Rays lineup. However, he looked really good season out of him too. However, with all the points that you just said, I'm going Luis Severino. Also, I know he doesn't have like the best postseason track record, but he does have that postseason experience. He knows what it's like to pitch in Yankee Stadium in that playoff atmosphere. Tristan McKenzie doesn't. So with all that taken into account, I'm giving a slight edge to Luis Severino. It's not like a huge difference, but it's a slight edge.
I'll tell you right now, man, Sevi's postseason history is starting to actually make me feel more confident about him. Now, obviously not the numbers, but you look at everything that was a negative with his career in October. It all had to do with whether it was pressure, not understanding his routine going into a playoff game, aka when he didn't know the time of the start, being too amped up. He doesn't have really anything to worry about when it comes to that because 1, he's not the number 1 starter. Pressure is for the most part lessened. 2, he's done it before. So he knows going in how he has to prepare, how he has to handle himself when he's on the mound for that first pitch. So there's no negative connotation with Severino now. That's only like going into October. There's only immense positives. Like I was just saying, this is the best version of him, I think, mentally and physically with the stuff that he has. So easy. And let me say, Tristan McKenzie is a dog. Future Yankee. I've actually met him before. No big deal in the Arizona house with John Boy. Yeah, he's cool as hell. Cool. And I hope I'm allowed to say this. I don't think it's that big a deal. I asked him because I asked pretty much every player I ever meet. I'm like, yo, so tell me, would you be on the Yankees one day? Or I say like, you'd be a great Yankee. It's like my go-to compliment. And he like paused for a second. He was like, I did grow up a Yankee fan. I'm like, hell yeah, Tristan.
No, dude.
Hell
I'm not going through this every story.
Hey,
bro.
I'm just saying he would make.
Yankee.
Let's be real here. He's Brooklyn native. So that's
is
probably
he
why
actually?
Yes, which is it's when I heard that.
Shout out to Tristan McKenzie.
When I heard that, bro, I was like, it makes so much sense. Does he not scream Brooklyn? Just how cool and like calm he is.
It's fire. I didn't even know that. Shout out to Tristan McKenzie.
I don't know why I just equated Calm with Brooklyn, but you know what I mean. His vibe is just, I like it.
Interesting, Calm. But games 4 and 5 would kind of just most likely be rematches of games 1 and 2. I mean, there's a chance if let's say Cal Quantrill gets shelled in game 1, maybe they'll go like Zach Plesac game 4.
Yeah.
Possibility there.
We probably don't have to go over 4 and 5. I mean, we made our it's pitcher versus pitcher. The Yankees have the advantage in all 3, so we'll kind of do a quick little wrap up with the first 2 lineup. The Yankees have the advantage, and then starting pitching at least.
But one last note on the starting pitching, like even though the Yankees do have the advantage there, Cleveland starting pitching isn't just like
it's respectable for sure. It's more than respectable. Yeah, absolutely. So it's not like, and I want to make this clear whether I'm talking about Bieber, McKenzie, anybody. I acknowledge that they absolutely could shove against us. But if I were a betting man, complete Yankee bias, take the pinstripes out of me, I'd say the Yankees have the advantage in all 3 games.
Yeah, I'm gonna say slight. I'm gonna say slight edge though. That's gonna be my thing. However, moving on to the bullpen here. I guess we're not going to break down every name that's going to be in both bullpens. However, we kind of like look at the bullpens as a whole, maybe a few key names here, but I'm just going to say off a rip. This is one area where I think that the Guardians have a definite edge over the Yankees.
For sure. And I didn't even really know how close it would be, to be honest. I mean, I wrote out all the stats and I'm looking at it. Cleveland's got a filthy ass bullpen, man. They really do. And it's not just, we all know Emmanuel Clase. At least I knew Clase, I knew Karinchak. Those are the kind of like the 2 top dogs. But you go past them. I mean, they got Trevor Stephan, however you say it, 2.69 ERA. Nick Sandlin, 2.25 ERA. Sam Hentges, 2.32 ERA. Go down the list, 3.04 ERA. I mean, they got a lot of really solid names in there. Only thing, and this kind of goes with all of Cleveland's pitching. We also have to keep in mind that majority of their time is against the AL Central, the worst division in baseball, period, and also in particular offensively, right? So got to factor that in as well. But I mean, I think overall, you pretty much mentioned it. I agree. I think they have a slight edge. Now, I want to emphasize slight, because let's be real here. Our bullpen is still really good. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but I could list you off all the ERAs we have. Still very, very good. It just, it wasn't exactly. We had a little dysfunction, I guess, down the stretch in terms of like the order and just how it was established. Cleveland gets the edge, but we still have a very, very good bullpen and just pitching staff overall.
Sure. And I think also, like, let's say the Yankees bullpen was at full strength, then I think that we might have the edge. However, like the Yankees bullpen obviously isn't at full strength.
If Ron Marnacchio was here, do you give the Yankees the edge? I think I might go tied and then Yankee bias.
Yeah, I mean, it would make it better for sure, but it still wouldn't necessarily. And also, like, let's say Clay Holmes was like still that guy, then we might have the edge.
I'm looking at the names we have on here, which let me just lay them out. Scott Efros, Lou Trevino, Jonathan Loaizaga, Clay Holmes, Wandy Peralta, Lucas Licky, Domingo Germán, Clark Schmidt, Jameson Tyone. You figure if Ron was on the roster, Tyone probably wouldn't even make it. And that's not a diss on Tyone, and we just only need 3 starters. Yeah. So, but whatever. I think we still have, it's not like we were saying before about Cleveland's starting rotation compared to ours. You may want to give them the edge, sure, but it's not like we're in a place of like,
yes. I think that's a great way of saying it. Like the way I'm viewing the bullpen matchup is like the reverse of how I'm viewing the starting pitching matchup, right? Like there's a slight edge to the Guardians. However, like the Yankees bullpen is pretty respectable, even 100%. Though like all the setbacks they've faced. And one thing that I do want to address as far as the Guardians bullpen goes is, let's not forget, I believe, my memory could be perceiving me wrong here, but in 2019, when we went up against the Twins, their bullpen had like insane numbers in the regular season. And then they showed up in the postseason in Yankee Stadium, completely faltered. So it's like,
it's a perfect equivalent, man.
We're talking about like Trevor Stephan, who I believe is like a former Yankee arm, if I'm not mistaken. Nick Sandlin, Sam Hentges, James Karinchak, who choked in the 2020 wildcard series. Like these names, like they had good regular season numbers, but that's not guaranteeing them to be a lock in postseason.
It goes back to the one disadvantage that I've been mentioning this whole time. Or a couple disadvantages, lack of postseason experience. And you talk about the Twins, you can bring that same thing up with them in 2019. We're a pretty fresh team. I know they played in the 2017 wildcard game. Not as many players from that team. And also, it's one game. 2, the AL Central, like I just said. Yeah. I mean, who knows what these Cleveland relievers ERAs look like if they're playing in the AL East. So, damn, man, the more I think about the AL Central is a huge advantage. It really is. Bro. So, it's close. Let me tell you that right now. I'll still give it to Cleveland the edge, but it's very close. I almost want to call it tied, actually, now that I think about it more.
I'm still going to give them a slight edge for now.
Sure.
So, listen, last kind of comparison that we can make between the two teams is looking at the benches. And this is one of those where I'm kind of looking at it. I'll rattle off the names that are most likely going to be involved here. So on the Yankee side, Matt Carpenter, who's basically a lock to be healthy now. Shout out to Carpenter. He's going to be huge coming off the bench. DJ LeMahieu, Aaron Hicks, Kyle Higashioka, and then I guess either or Oswald Peraza or Tim LeCastro. And then
Which, let me say sorry, go on. Finish Cleveland.
No. Okay. I was going to say on the Guardian side, Gabriel Arias, Owen Miller. Come on. Will Brennan, Will Benson, Bo Naylor / Luke Maley. I'm going to be honest. I don't know who like 3 out of 5 of those guys are. That's just me.
Yeah. So, and this is me taking it from their wildcard roster, which Bo Naylor and Luke Maley are both catchers. So they carry 3 catchers. Sometimes teams do that in the playoffs. I don't believe the Yankees are going to be one of them. But you look at the Yankees bench, and it's easily the best bench of the Judge era. Now, Tim LeCastro, I feel like is probably more considered to be the lock going into this because you always have that speed guy, so it probably would be him. Oswald Peraza, though, is pretty quick himself, and the Yankees are probably going to have to use at some point Matt Carpenter or DJ LeMahieu to pinch hit for IKF. You would then need a shortstop. Tim LeCastro, I know he plays infield. He definitely wouldn't be playing shortstop. I don't know, man. I feel like there's a way it could be to where both of them land on the roster, but I'll tell you right now that if we
Are we saying Hicks is a lock, though?
I think he almost has to be because
Peraza finds himself.
But the thing with that is, well, I guess, you know what? Maybe we should. I think Hicks probably doesn't make it because LeCastro plays the outfield. So instead of Hicks, which this is not concrete, I'm kind of just speculating here. But sure, I think we can look at a bench, feel pretty confident about Matt Carpenter, DJ LeMahieu, Kyle Higashioka, Oswald Peraza, and Tim LeCastro. That's a very good bench. And I'm, without knowing too much about Cleveland's, I can say, even not knowing, without a doubt, we have the advantage here, 100%. And that's huge, man. The pinch hit opportunities we have here. I mean, hopefully DJ is healthy enough to make an impact, but dude, I'm so glad. Like, did you see those pictures of Carpenter that the Yankees posted on Twitter today, bro? They were so awesome, man.
Nestor Deep.
Oh, you're kidding.
Apparently took Nestor Deep in live AB. So
Crushing
I mean,
lefties.
that's huge, bro. Just
I
saying.
love it. He's back. I mean,
So,
they said that he doesn't feel any limitations, as if he just picked up a game again in early August playing baseball. So
yeah.
I'm
overall, like,
ready to
I
go.
think that we kind of like look at all these matchups and whatnot. And the Yankees definitely have the edge. And that's why I'm like a little bit nervous about this because like it's not like we're going into a postseason series with nothing to lose like we have in years past sometimes, right? It's like, or as the underdog where it's kind of just like go out there and do your thing and see what happens. Kind of like the 2017 ALDS when we faced the Cleveland Indians at the time, right? Like we went into that series, no one expected us to win, bro. And we won in 5 games. Now I'm thinking that like the Guardians are probably going into this with that mentality. Like, yo, we have nothing to lose. We're huge underdogs. Let's just go out there and see what happens. And that's the thing that scares me the most.
For sure. And that's when I mentioned in the open how I have slight playoff nerves. That's the only reason why, because as we've established here, the Yankees are the clear better team. Cleveland's respectable, but we are better. It's baseball. And especially in a 5-game series, if we were, say, to play 7 right now, I would feel so much more confident because most of the time over 7-game series, usually the true better team comes out and wins. But like you just mentioned, you're back in 2017. There's countless examples you could bring up. Anything can happen. So you just got to hope that, there's no duds thrown by Garrett Cole. There's no ground balls missed by IKF. And the bullpen obviously is a big part of that too. Don't blow any leads. The offense, I feel like they will score. So I think we have that definitely going for us. So the pitchers live up to what they're supposed to do and just don't have any meltdowns. We definitely should come out on top.
All right. So Dan, listen, we talked about basically everything comparing these two teams. Now I guess it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for, right? Our series predictions. I guess give me like, who do you think is going to win the series and how many games? And also give me like your MVP of the series.
All right. So I know I'm a Yankees fan and this is going to crush the people watching this.
Dude, stop.
But I'm just playing, bro. Yankees are taking the series in 4. Easy money. I'll give them a game. I'm sure something will happen. It's baseball, like we said. Yankees win the ALDS in 4. Only unfortunate part of that is it would be in Cleveland. MVP, which they don't actually have an award for, but if we were to give out an award, let me look at the lineup real quick. I think it's going to be, let's make another rule here. And I feel bad for it because I feel like we've done this in the past. You can't pick Aaron Judge. Okay. Can we do that?
It's fine.
Were you going to pick him? I'm going Gleyber Torres, man. I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to continue his postseason success, and he's coming off the best month of his life, or one of them. Dude, he doesn't get phased by the moment. I think he shows up big time, and I wouldn't be surprised, bro. He hits 2 homers in this series, which in an ALDS, that's pretty good.
No, I like it. I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna say the Yankees are gonna win in 4. I I just can't see a scenario where it even goes to 5. Now, I could be wrong, but I think the Yankees I think they dominate. I think I'm just going to go with that. I mean, maybe there's like
2019 ALDS-esque.
Maybe not that dominant, but I think that they still will be pretty good.
Which, by the way, that shit will never not crack me up, bro. Remember going into the 2019 ALDS? These aren't your grandfather's twins.
I know.
My favorite edit, bro, was somebody saying that these aren't your grandfather's twins, and then it cuts to the Yankees have swept the Twins.
Let me say this though, as far as my my MVP goes. Now, obviously, like, oh, Judge is an easy pick, whatever. I like your pick of Glaber. I think that's a cool one to go with. However, I'm gonna go with a pitcher. And since I'm going with Yankees in 4, I'm taking Garrett Cole. I think that game 1 is a dominant start, and I think game 4 to clinch. I think he's going to pitch amazing on the road in Cleveland, as he did in game 1 of the 2020 Wildcard Series. We are going to solidify ourselves as basically the evil empire of the city of Cleveland, eliminating them for the 3rd time in the last 5 years. This is it, bro. We eliminated them in 2017.
Right. 2020
we eliminated them
doesn't exist
2020.
You're right.
Now we're going to eliminate them 2020.
I love it.
We're going to become the bane of Cleveland, and Garrett Cole is going to lead us to the ALCS. I'm here for it.
Let's do it. I'm going to transform yours into mine just a little bit. I think I'm with you. I think game 1, though, Cole is going to shove. Like the 7 innings, 2 runs, 10K is going to be like a dominant. Same how it was in game 1 of 2020, the Wildcard Series. And then game 4, I think the Yankees are going to blow out Cleveland. It'll be like a 9-1 game. I think Cole will just give him a nice 6 innings, 2 runs. Where like if he had to keep going, he would. But like, might as well just take him out. It's 9-1.
Sure.
We got a ALCS to prepare for. Which, speaking of the ALCS, are you rooting for Houston to get to the ALCS? Because I absolutely am. I've talked about this before, but I will be just as much rooting for Houston to make it to the ALCS as us.
I'm definitely viewing Seattle as a little bit of a threat now.
Me too. I don't think they'll get past Houston though. They won't.
I don't think they will. However, I would like it if they did, because I would prefer to face Seattle over Houston just because I view them as like an easier matchup. However, I'm not as scared to face Houston as I was in years past.
I'm scared, don't get me wrong, but I want it so bad. Said it a million times. Rematch of the century. It's almost, you don't watch Dragon Ball Z, do you? Well, for those at home who may, I am Vegeta right now against second form Cell, to where he was beating his ass and he was in a good position. It's kind of equivalent. And then he let him get as powerful as possible, basically giving him the stronger matchup because he wanted to beat him. He ended up getting his ass kicked and almost dying. But that's the vibes I want. I want the best matchup possible, knowing that it could bite me in the ass. But I don't think I'd be able to celebrate this October as much as I would if we won the World Series beating the Astros on our way there.
Well, that's an insane thing to say.
I want it so bad.
So if the Yankees got to the World Series and they faced Cleveland, and
obviously I'd be happy.
The same. Come on.
No, it would hit amazingly, and I would absolutely love it. But you know, a month later, there'd be a part of me like, man, I really wish that Houston could have lived up to their end of the bill. It's gonna happen anyways, though. We're getting a Yankees Astros ALCS.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, we might have to talk about that in our ALCS.
This is going to be the first 40-minute episode of the Yankees Avenue Show, so that's great.
I do feel like that Yankees Astros ALCS rematch is destined to happen, though, and I'm here for it if it does. So we'll see. We broke down the entire ALDS matchup here, and one thing before we do kind of wrap things up, I guess a piece of little Yankees news that we found out on Sunday. Aroldis Chapman kind of went AWOL. So he's not going to be in the Yankees bullpen, which, to be honest with you, not really someone who I even expected to be on the postseason roster anyway. We talked about it. I mean, my expectations for Chapman were high. I was hoping that he could come back and be dominant. He wasn't, so there was just no place for him on this roster. He went home, and that's kind of the end of Chapman on the Yankees.
Good fucking riddance, bro. And, I don't think it's a matter of he just went AWOL randomly. I think he probably knew that he was not going to be on the roster,
100%.
Because if there's no, because then why would you even show up to brutally hot Texas? Or, I mean, he's in Miami, so it's not much different, but he would have just dipped earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's a coincidence that right before the playoffs, he happens to hop on a plane back to Miami and just not show up for workouts, which, dude, absolutely hilarious. And he was just getting roasted by the Yankees, by Boone, who was saying he didn't give an acceptable excuse. Cashman was saying how throughout the whole entire season, I guess, there was question about his commitment to the team. So, good riddance to Aroldis Chapman. You had a nice little run with us for a couple of years.
Yeah.
We talked about this a couple of weeks back. I wouldn't do the contract again simply for paying relievers that much money. It's just ridiculous. But now that it's ending this way, I got to say, man, I'm glad that we don't have to associate him with him anymore. It's over. The Aroldis Chapman era is officially
the book has
officially over.
Closed.
Fuck him. All right. Well, that's a wrap for this episode, huh? Dude, by the next time by the next time we talk, we will either be up 1-0 or down 1-0. Which, speaking of, remember, post-game after show. Well, it'll be a morning release, but every morning after each and every single game this postseason, there will be a Yankees Avenue show. So keep that in mind. Stay posted to the community page for anything about watch parties. I'm probably going to do like some little Q&A or whatever. It'll be up on socials. You guys will know if we're doing it, which you are. That's to do it, man. This episode?
I'm excited. Huh? I'm excited. I'm nervous.
Me too.
I'm feeling like a roller coaster of emotions inside my body right now.
I know,
and I like it because it's postseason baseball.
I know I have those nerves. I have like the October vibe of incredible excitement, nervousness, and also an insane level of confidence. Also, real quick, next episode, I'm going to be wearing full Yankees pinstripes up and down. Yeah.
You're going to wear it for every show through the postseason?
If we win. I mean, if we win Tuesday night, I have to wear it again Wednesday. Like literally the second I wake up, I'm showering and putting a uniform. I'm going to the office, wearing it the entire day through New York City, through my entire day.
That's insane.
I'll probably wear it on the show even if they lose, but I won't be after that. Like I won't wear it the next day. We got to go though. That's new this episode, guys. Drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you are new. Follow us on Twitter. See you guys next time. Let's go Yankees.